There is a feeling running underneath everything you do, so constant that you have never once noticed it. The plain certainty that you exist, that you are here, alive, real. You treat it as a fact about the world like gravity. It isn't. It's a signal your brain generates, and we can tell because in rare cases it fails and a person becomes convinced completely that they are dead. Not as a mood, not as a metaphor, as a fact they will argue for. This isn't a story about the afterlife or about horror. It's about the machinery that makes you feel real, glimpsed at the one moment it breaks. The condition has a name, Cotard syndrome. The people who experience it hold a nihilistic belief that they have died, that they no longer exist, that their body is rotting or hollow, that their blood or organs are gone. It was first described in 1880 by a French physician, Jules Cotard, who a couple of years later gave it the name it still carries, the delirium of negation. It is rare. It appears most often alongside severe depression and sometimes with other psychiatric or neurological conditions. And it is a delusion in the precise sense, a belief held with total conviction that ordinary evidence cannot move. That precision matters because the strangeness isn't that these patients are confused. They can often see their own hands. They can be shown their pulse, their breath, their reflection, and they will look at all of it and still conclude that they are dead, sometimes deciding the evidence proves the point, that this is simply what death is like. The belief isn't being reasoned up from the facts. Something underneath is overriding the facts. To understand what, it helps to look at a sister condition, one that breaks a different link in the same chain. That condition is capgras, the belief that a close family member has been replaced by an identical imposter. A leading explanation runs like this. Recognizing a face has two parts, knowing who it is and the automatic wave of warmth and familiarity that normally arrives with someone you love. In capgras, the recognition survives, but the emotional signal is gone. The patient sees a face that looks exactly like their wife, yet feels nothing. And the mind, handed, looks like her but feels wrong, reaches for an explanation. She must be an imposter. Now turn that inward, and you arrive at one influential account of Cotard. Imagine the same broken link, but global, not for one face, but for everything. If the automatic feeling that things are real and present drains away from all of perception, including your own body and your own thoughts, then nothing carries the felt signal of being real. Not the world, not you. Faced with, I perceive, but nothing feels like it exists, and neither do I, one conclusion a mind can settle on is the darkest and the most literal, I must be dead. This is a hypothesis, part of what researchers call a two-factor theory of delusions, not a settled fact, but it points somewhere unsettling. Because it means the everyday feeling of being alive is not something you read off the world, it's something your brain adds. It's built in part from emotion and from interoception. Your brain's sense of your own body from the inside, the quiet hum of your heartbeat, your breath, your gut, gathered into a background feeling of being a living thing that is here. You feel real because that signal is running silently every second. Cotard is, in one reading, what it can look like when that signal stops, and the mind is left to explain the silence. There is a case that makes this vivid. A man, known in the reports as Graham, became convinced after a severe depressive episode and a suicide attempt that his brain was dead. He said he had no need to eat or speak, or that his brain had simply stopped. When researchers scanned him, they found something startling. Activity across parts of his frontal and parietal cortex was so low that it resembled the metabolism of a brain in sleep or under anesthesia. In a man who was awake and walking and talking, it is a single case, a correlation, not a proven mechanism. But it is hard to unsee, a waking brain running in places as if it were switched off. It's important to hold this carefully because it is easy to turn into a freak show, and it should not be. Cotard's is rare, serious, and this is the part that matters most, often treatable. It is usually a symptom, most often of severe depression, and it tends to lift when the underlying illness is treated with antidepressants, antipsychotics, or in some cases electroconvulsive therapy. It is not something you can diagnose in yourself or anyone else from a video, and the disconnection account is a leading idea, not a closed case. The right response to it is not fascination alone, it's care. And it is worth being clear about what this is not. It is not the person being foolish or dramatic or choosing to believe something absurd. The conviction that they are dead is every bit as immediate and total to them as your certainty of being alive is to you right now. That is the unnerving symmetry. Your sense of existing and their sense of not existing are produced by the same machinery, the same quiet signal, present in you, absent in them. Neither of you reasoned your way there. You were both simply handed a feeling and believed it. Underneath, the shape of the explanation is that same two-part structure. First, an anomalous experience, the felt sense of reality, of aliveness going missing. And second, something that lets the extraordinary conclusion stand instead of being checked and discarded. A failure in the ordinary work of testing a belief against everything else you know. Put those together, in the dark, and I am dead stops being a symptom to argue with. It becomes the only story that fits what the person can feel. So come back to the feeling you started with, the one you still can't feel because it hasn't stopped. Right now, underneath your thoughts, your brain is sending the quiet signal that you exist, and you are believing it exactly as you have every second of your life. You never chose it, you never noticed it. Cotard's is the rare, unwelcome sign that it is a signal at all, something generated, and therefore something that can fail. The self isn't a fact you simply have. It's a message your brain keeps sending. For almost everyone, it never stops. The strangeness is only visible in the few for whom it does.